Life is a mirror reflecting back what we project. If you wake up thinking small, your day will feel small, your opportunities will feel limited, and your results will reflect that mindset. But imagine if, just for a moment, you decided to think bigger, dream bolder, and act braver. What doors would open? What challenges would shrink? You are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your decisions. Every great life started with one decision, one commitment to rise above the average, one refusal to settle for mediocrity. The difference between those who live with regret and those who leave a legacy is not talent, not luck, but the courage to take that first step today, right now. Your future is not something that happens to you. It's something you sculpt with intention, patience, and relentless action. Every conversation you have, every book you read, every tiny habit you adopt either elevates you or diminishes you. Success is not magic. It is deliberate, consistent, and often uncomfortable. Time is the most honest teacher, yet we rarely listen. Every second you spend waiting for the right moment is a second that will never return. Imagine your life as a bank account. Every day you deposit moments, and eventually your balance shows whether you've invested wisely or wasted it. People who change their lives understand the power of urgency. They start before they feel ready, they learn before they are perfect, and they persist long after others quit. The world does not reward good intentions, it rewards results. And results come from action, from the willingness to fail spectacularly, learn quickly, and rise stronger every single time. Life will test you, tempt you, and try to convince you that the ordinary is enough. But remember, greatness doesn't ask for permission. It demands focus, resilience, and a refusal to follow the crowd. Success is not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. Every setback, every failure, every rejection carries a lesson disguised as pain. Those who embrace discomfort, who see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks, are the ones who transform their lives. The question is simple: will you let life happen to you, or will you happen to life? Motivation is fleeting, but discipline lasts. Inspiration may spark a fire, but habits keep it burning. You must become intentional about every choice: what you read, what you say, who you surround yourself with, and how you spend your energy. Ordinary people are enslaved by their environment, while extraordinary people design it to serve their vision. The life you dream of is already within you. You only need to awaken it, commit to it, and take the first courageous action today, not tomorrow. Life is a mirror reflecting back what we project. It is remarkable how our mindset shapes every moment of our existence, often in ways we don't even notice. If you wake up thinking small, if you fill your mind with doubt, fear, and hesitation, your day will feel small, your opportunities will seem limited, and the results you achieve will mirror those low expectations. But imagine, just for a moment, the power of deciding to think bigger. Imagine daring to dream boldly, to act bravely, and to believe that you are capable of more than you have allowed yourself to believe so far. Life begins to change the instant you refuse to be confined by your past or by the limitations imposed by others. You are not a product of your circumstances, and you are certainly not defined by your failures. You are defined by your decisions. Every great life, every extraordinary success starts with one decision. A decision to rise above average, a decision to refuse mediocrity, a decision to step out of comfort and into growth. It's easy to watch others succeed and think that their lives are a product of luck or talent, But that is far from the truth. Talent is overrated. Luck is unpredictable. The real difference between those who live with regret and those who leave a legacy is courage. The courage to take that first step when the world tells you to stay where you are. And courage is not the absence of fear, it is action in spite of fear. You don't have to see the entire path to take the first step. You only need the willingness to start, to commit, and to keep moving forward, even when the journey feels uncertain. Every decision you make today shapes the life you will live tomorrow. Every conversation you have, every book you read, every habit you form either elevates you or diminishes you. Your life is a collection of these moments, these small choices that compound over time into either greatness or mediocrity. The person who chooses to listen to wisdom, to take advice from those who have walked the path before, to learn, grow, and act deliberately, is the person who will find doors opening where others see walls. You have to become intentional about your life, because life itself is neutral. It does not hand out rewards for effort alone. It responds to consistent, focused action. Success is not magic. It is deliberate, it is consistent, and it often requires discomfort. Consider for a moment the people you admire most. Every one of them faced obstacles, endured setbacks, and confronted doubt. What separated them from the rest of the world was not circumstance, it was decision. They made the choice to persist, to learn, and to take responsibility for their results, no matter how difficult the journey. They understood that the world does not owe them anything, but they were willing to earn everything. And that willingness, the determination to act in alignment with a vision, is what transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. You cannot wait for permission to be great. You cannot wait for a perfect moment, a perfect plan, or perfect conditions. Those things rarely exist. What exists is this moment, right now, and the power within you to make it meaningful. Your future is not a distant dream. It is something you sculpt every day through your choices, your focus, and your habits. Success is built on the foundation of discipline, the courage to act, and the resilience to keep moving forward even when progress is slow. Every step matters. Even when you feel like your efforts are invisible or insignificant, they are building something inside of you, a stronger mindset, sharper skills, and a greater capacity to achieve. And when the time comes, when opportunity meets preparation, those who acted, who persisted, who refused to settle, will be ready. It all begins with a simple awareness that your life can be different, that you are capable of more, that your destiny is in your hands. When you embrace that awareness, the world begins to respond differently. Obstacles become challenges to overcome, failures become lessons, and the impossible begins to feel achievable. Every day is a chance to practice, to grow, to expand your limits, and to move closer to the life you truly desire. If you decide today to invest in yourself, to prioritize growth, and to refuse mediocrity, you will start to see the compounding effects of your decisions. Over weeks, months, and years, small, consistent choices transform into massive results. And so, the message is clear. The life you dream of is not waiting for luck, magic, or outside approval. It is waiting for your decision, your commitment, and your action. You hold the power to change your circumstances, to redefine your limits, and to create a life of meaning, fulfillment, and abundance. Don't underestimate the importance of this moment. this choice, this step forward. Today is not just another day. It is a new opportunity to begin, to rise, and to take control of your life in a way that will echo for years to come. Time is the most honest teacher, yet so many of us fail to listen. Every second you spend waiting for the perfect moment is a second you will never get back. Life is happening now, whether you are ready or not, and those who achieve greatness understand this truth more than anyone. They know that the world does not wait, it does not bend for hesitation, and it does not reward indecision. Imagine your life as a bank account. Each day is a deposit, each choice is an investment, and every wasted moment is a withdrawal. Eventually, your balance reflects the cumulative effect of those deposits. The person who invests wisely, who acts decisively, and who leverages every opportunity available will experience exponential growth over time. Meanwhile, those who procrastinate, who wait for clarity or the right time, find themselves bankrupt in experience, opportunity, and personal growth. The people who change their lives understand the power of urgency. They start before they feel ready. They take imperfect action. They embrace discomfort as a teacher rather than a punishment. Waiting for confidence, waiting for perfect knowledge, or waiting for ideal circumstances is the surest path to stagnation. Every action you take, no matter how small, sends a ripple through your life. The first step, taken with intention, often leads to momentum that propels you farther than you ever imagined. The difference between those who live with regret and those who live with purpose is simply this: the willingness to act, even when conditions are less than perfect, and to keep moving when the path seems unclear. Results are never an accident. The world does not reward good intentions, kind thoughts, or hopeful wishes. It rewards results, and results come from action. You must be willing to risk failure, to endure criticism, to embrace mistakes, and to persist long after others quit. Failure is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Each setback carries lessons that, if learned, become stepping stones toward success. Most people fear failure, but the truly successful understand that failure is inevitable on the path to achievement. It is not something to avoid, but something to harness. Each challenge, each obstacle, and each moment of resistance carries within it the seeds of growth, knowledge, and resilience. Time is unforgiving. It passes whether we honor it or waste it, whether we use it wisely or squander it. That is why the people who succeed are those who understand the importance of taking charge of every day. They measure their actions, they plan their priorities, and they execute consistently. Life rewards focus. Distraction, hesitation, and indecision rob even the most talented individuals of their potential. Your energy, your time, and your attention are the most valuable resources you have, and if you do not control them, the world will. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary lives often lies in this simple principle: intentionality. Every hour spent with purpose compounds over time, while every hour wasted erodes opportunity. Success demands persistence, not perfection. It demands courage in the face of uncertainty. It requires that you move forward even when the odds feel stacked against you, even when fear whispers that you should retreat. The path of least resistance is tempting, but it leads only to ordinary results. Those who achieve greatness understand that effort, consistency, and resilience are the true currencies of success. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline endures. Inspiration sparks the fire, but habits keep it burning. The life you dream of is built one consistent choice at a time. Every day you rise and do what is necessary, even when it is difficult. You build momentum, character, and a foundation that cannot be shaken by circumstance. Consider the stories of people who transformed their lives. Almost all of them began with small steps taken before they felt ready. They embraced failure as feedback, obstacles as opportunities, and time as a resource to be respected, not wasted. They understood that waiting for perfect conditions was a trap, and they chose instead to act now. And in doing so, they discovered a truth: action creates clarity, not the other way around. You do not need a fully formed plan to start. You need commitment, courage, and the willingness to move forward. The world will test you, it will challenge your resolve, and it will attempt to convince you that your dreams are unrealistic. But the people who succeed refuse to let these tests define them. They define themselves by their response, by their persistence, and by their refusal to quit. The urgency of life is undeniable. Days pass, opportunities appear and vanish, and the clock never stops ticking. You can choose to let life sweep you along passively, or you can choose to seize it with intention and boldness. Every action you take, every decision you make, and every second you invest shapes your trajectory. Those who live ordinary lives wonder where the time went. Those who live extraordinary lives understand exactly where it went. They used it wisely, deliberately, and with a purpose, and this understanding transforms everything. When you commit to using your time wisely, to acting decisively, and to embracing discomfort, you create a life of momentum. The doors that once seemed closed begin to open. Challenges no longer feel insurmountable. Confidence grows, not because the world changed, but because you changed. And it all starts with recognizing that time is your most valuable asset, that action is the engine of results, and that persistence is the bridge between dreams and reality. Success is not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. Life will test you, challenge you, and place obstacles in your path, but these moments do not define you. What defines you is your response, your resilience, and your willingness to turn adversity into opportunity. Every setback, every failure, and every rejection carries within it a lesson disguised as pain. Those who embrace discomfort, who see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks, are the ones who transform their lives. The choice is simple yet profound. Will you let life happen to you, or will you happen to life? Most people drift through existence, reacting to circumstances rather than creating them. Extraordinary people, on the other hand, understand that they are the architects of their own destiny, and they take deliberate steps to build a life aligned with their vision. Motivation alone is fleeting. Inspiration may spark a fire, but it is discipline, habits, and consistent action that keep that fire burning long after the initial excitement fades. You must become intentional about every choice you make, what you read, what you say, who you spend time with, and how you invest your energy. Ordinary people are enslaved by their environment. They allow negativity, distraction, and fear to dictate their decisions. Extraordinary people, however, design their environment to support their goals. They surround themselves with wisdom, positivity, and people who elevate them. They understand that success is a product not just of talent or opportunity, but of deliberate effort compounded over time. Every failure, every rejection, and every no carries a message if you are willing to listen. Failure is not the end, it is feedback. It is a signal that something needs adjustment, that growth is required, and that resilience must be strengthened. Those who succeed are not immune to failure. They are simply unwilling to let it stop them. They extract lessons, refine their approach, and continue moving forward with renewed determination. The ability to respond to life with courage, clarity, and focus separates those who live with regret from those who leave a legacy. You have within you the power to turn every difficulty into a learning opportunity and every challenge into a stepping stone toward your goals. The life you dream of is already within you. It is waiting for you to awaken it, to commit to it, and to act upon it. Most people underestimate their own potential because they limit themselves with doubt and fear. They believe greatness is reserved for someone else, somewhere else, sometime else. The truth is that greatness begins here, now, with you. It begins with small, consistent actions, habits formed with intention, choices made with awareness, and effort applied with persistence. Momentum is built not through grand gestures, but through daily commitment. Each day you rise, take action, and push beyond comfort. You are strengthening your capacity to achieve the extraordinary. Consider the power of your thoughts. They are the invisible architects of your reality. If you allow negativity, self-doubt, and fear to dominate your mind, your actions and results will reflect them. But if you cultivate optimism, confidence, and determination, your life begins to mirror these qualities. Success is not a random occurrence. It is the natural outcome of the thoughts you nurture, the decisions you make, and the actions you take consistently over time. You cannot control every circumstance, but you can control how you respond. And your responses, compounded over days, months, and years, determine the trajectory of your life. Time will continue to pass, challenges will continue to arise, and the world will not pause for your readiness. That is why the ability to respond intentionally, courageously, and persistently is the ultimate skill for life. Those who achieve greatness understand that waiting for perfect conditions is a trap. Action creates clarity. Movement generates momentum. Learning comes from experience, and resilience is built by confronting difficulty rather than avoiding it. Every setback becomes an opportunity to refine your strategy, strengthen your character, and accelerate your growth. The life you desire is not distant or unattainable. It exists within your reach if you are willing to embrace responsibility for your results. You cannot blame circumstances, luck, or other people for where you are today. The power to change, to grow, and to achieve lies squarely in your hands. The question is not whether you can succeed, but whether you are willing to respond to life with courage, persistence, and intentionality. Every choice you make, every habit you form, and every action you take contributes to the life you are building. When you commit to taking responsibility for your responses, your life transforms. Obstacles become opportunities, failure becomes feedback, and challenges become fuel for growth. You begin to see that life is not something that happens to you. It is something you create. You discover the extraordinary power of intentional action, consistent habits, and unwavering resilience. You realize that every difficulty contains a lesson, every setback contains a seed of opportunity, and every decision shapes your destiny. The life you have imagined, dreamed of, and desired is already waiting for you. The path to it is clear. Respond with courage, act with consistency, and embrace every challenge as a stepping stone toward greatness. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the edge of your life as it is today. Everything you know, everything you've built, every comfort and limitation, everything is right here. And now someone asks you, what if your life could be greater? What if you could rise above every fear, every doubt, every limitation you've ever believed in? I want you to hear this clearly, that life is not a dream for someone else. It is your life, and the power to change it, to sculpt it, to transform it, is already in your hands. You might be thinking, but it's too hard. I'm not ready. I don't have enough time, enough money, enough skill. Listen carefully. None of that matters nearly as much as you think. None of it defines you. What defines you is this: the decision you make today to take responsibility for your life, to step forward even when you feel fear, and to act consistently toward your goals. Imagine what could happen if you decided, starting now, that mediocrity is no longer acceptable. Imagine if you said to yourself, I will not let excuses dictate my results. I will not allow circumstances to define my future. I will rise, I will act, and I will persist. You see, life has a way of testing every single one of us. It will push you, challenge you, and tempt you to quit. But here's the truth: those tests are not punishments. They are invitations, invitations to grow, to rise, and to prove to yourself that you are stronger than you think. Every failure you encounter, every obstacle that seems impossible, carries within it a lesson that will make you wiser, stronger, and more capable than you were before. So when life says, you cannot, you must respond, watch me. I want you to think about your thoughts for a moment. What are you telling yourself every day? Are you saying, I can't? Or are you saying, I will find a way? Are you dwelling on what went wrong yesterday? Or are you asking, what can I do today to move closer to my goals? Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess, but it is also the most dangerous if left unchecked. You can choose to feed it fear, doubt, and limitation, or you can feed it courage, confidence, and vision. What will you choose? Because your choice today determines your results tomorrow. And let's talk about time. Oh, how precious and fleeting it is. Every second that passes is gone forever. You cannot reclaim it. You cannot pause it. You cannot ask for a refund. The people who succeed, who change their lives, understand the urgency of this moment. They act before they feel ready. They embrace discomfort. They do what others avoid. They don't wait for a perfect plan, a perfect moment, or a perfect life. They create their own perfection through persistent action. Ask yourself, are you investing your time wisely, or are you letting it slip away unnoticed? Let me remind you of something powerful. Every extraordinary life is the sum of ordinary choices made consistently. It is the person who rises early, who reads, who listens, who learns, who takes action even when it is hard, who perseveres when others quit, who keeps going when no one is watching. That is the person who transforms a life. Not luck, not talent, not a magic moment action compounded by consistency. Every small step matters, and each one brings you closer to the life you dream of. I want you to hear this, really hear it. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not bound by your past. You are not powerless. Every great life began with one decision, one choice to rise above, one commitment to persist, one refusal to settle for less than what was possible. And you can do the same today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect today. Now imagine yourself 5 years from now. Will you look back with pride, knowing you fought for your dreams, knowing you acted despite fear, knowing you lived with intention? Or will you look back with regret, realizing that you let excuses, doubt, and hesitation hold you back? The choice is yours. You can let life happen, or you can happen to life. You can drift, or you can steer. You can settle, or you can rise, and every moment you hesitate is a moment lost. So I challenge you right now, make a decision, commit to your growth, commit to your dreams, commit to the person you know you are capable of becoming. Surround yourself with wisdom, take action with courage, and persist when the world tells you to quit. Turn every setback into a lesson, every challenge into a stepping stone, and every day into an opportunity to move closer to your vision. Remember, motivation may spark the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. Inspiration may give you the first push, but action carries you to the finish line. Success is not something that happens to you. It is something you create with focus, persistence, and intentionality. And there is no better time to start than now, right now. So I ask you, what will you choose? Will you stay where you are, or will you rise? Will you wait for permission, or will you create your own? Will you accept mediocrity, or will you demand greatness from yourself? The power is in your hands. The time is now. Your life is waiting for you to act. Step forward, rise, and embrace the extraordinary life that is yours to claim. Because the only thing standing between you and the life of your dreams is the decision to begin, and that decision begins today.